Good evening, and welcome to the 28th edition of the LIVRESQ Empower Your Teaching webinar. We have some very exciting topics for tonight. Actually, we have one main topic, and then I want to answer two questions that we got in our registration form. Whether you've joined us live on Zoom, or whether you're watching a recording of this, or you're watching us live on Facebook, please remember that you can ask questions at any point during this meeting. I will be glad to answer them live. And of course, if you're watching a recording, you can ask your question in the comments, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So without further ado, the main topic we're going to talk about tonight, or the main thing I'm going to show you, is how to integrate Scratch in LIVRESQ. Specifically, how to integrate Scratch projects, because while it is true that we cannot integrate the Scratch editor inside LIVRESQ, we can integrate Scratch projects. So if you do work in Scratch, if you design Scratch projects, then you can import them straight to LIVRESQ without having to provide your students a separate link. And we do this with all apps. I just want to showcase specifically how to do this in Scratch for tonight. And it's really, really easy. So once we enter the Scratch website, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see clearly what I'm doing. You can choose any project, one that you've created or one from their amazing library. I've just randomly clicked one of the projects, and where you have copy link, we're not just going to link the project inside the LIVRESQ lesson, but we want to integrate it, to embed it actually, in order to make it interactive. So in order to do this, I'm going to copy the iframe code, which is found over here under embed. And the easiest way to work with iframe in LIVRESQ, or to integrate any form of iframe code in LIVRESQ, is on a text box. I've sort of migrated from the tab where I have LIVRESQ open, and here I can just add a text box from the content side, and then double click to edit this text box. And one of the options for the text editor allows me to view the source of my material. So if I click on source, then I'm able to edit the HTML source, or to view and edit the HTML source of my text box. And here I can simply paste either by right click and paste, or by using Control V, sorry, and paste my code. Once I click OK, it's being integrated. The Scratch project is being integrated as an iframe project. And if I go into view mode, the project is fully responsive and interactive, so I can work with it as I would on their website. So the easiest way, using iframe to embed. Of course, it's not going to be interactive. Now we're in the edit mode. You've noticed that I clicked on the little eye up here in order to enter view mode. So it's not going to be interactive in edit mode. None of the resources in LIVRESQ are going to be interactive in view mode, but it's really easy to do to see what they look like, or to make sure that they've integrated properly if we go into view mode. And more importantly, if you look inside the code, you can see that we can select some sizes. So you can have sizes for the frame. You can also check out if this fits on the smaller screen. It doesn't really fit, so you can adjust according to, so they're not fully responsive because of the code, because we've sort of imposed a size for the embed, but you can work on that and make it responsive and change it according to your needs. So I'm just going to redo this very quickly once again to make sure that you've got it, and to make sure that everything is clear. So once I go into the Scratch website and let's select a different project this time, any of the projects posted here, or a project that I've created previously. And as you know, you can create lots and lots of little games and projects in Scratch. I click on the project itself, and then from copy link, I'm not just going to copy the link to the project, but I'm going to copy the embed, the iframe code. And then back to LIVRESQ, I have the possibility to paste this code straight into a text box. And in order to work with a text box in LIVRESQ, I'm just going to add it by drag and dropping a text box from the content list. So I have a few resources, a few types of content that I can add from here. I'm just going to drag and drop them into my editing space. I'll double click this, go into source, paste using Control V, the code, but I can also, as you've noticed before, I can also use right click and paste, click on OK, and I've integrated another iframe. And again, this works with Scratch, but it works with other apps as well. And we're going to be showcasing more of those as we go along. Some apps also allow you to integrate them as what we call black boxes or applications. And we've done a video on that previously. We can do one again if you're interested. The catch is that if you want this to be marked as complete in SCORM, you will need to add it as a black box or as an application. So if you want guides on how to do that, if you need to integrate different apps for SCORM files, so if you want the project or the file to progress of the learner for the specific file, we can create guides on that as well for the future. It's one of our plans, actually. But the faster you ask us, the faster we're going to do it, the more we're going to prioritize this. So in order to, if you want to export your course as a SCORM compliant file, and you want to follow the progress of learners inside black boxes inside apps, it won't work with embed, but it will work if you add applications or black boxes. So the easiest way, if you're not interested in SCORM, if you're not interested in integrating that lesson in an LMS, because in LIVRESQ we have the possibility, we offer free hosting for whatever you create, your course or your lesson or your digital textbook for textbooks, for instance, we offer free hosting for that. So you can leave it just like this and embed it in the easiest way using source and then pasting your code here. But if you want the more advanced option, if you want to create an actual app and integrate it in LIVRESQ, that's 100% possible, and we can explore that in future meetings. So this is it for integrating the actual apps using the iframe code. Now, I did mention that we have two very interesting questions that I want to go over before we wrap up this meeting. And one of them is about the formula editor, because we've talked about the text box before, and I know there are a lot of science teachers who are interested in adding actual formula to their lessons. And I also wanted to talk about this tonight because you add formulas to a text box. So since we've started talking about the source of the text box, it's a good opportunity to also show you more about how to add formulas and how you can use codes like code. And in this case, it will be LaTeX to create and to write formulas. So in a text box, and we're just going to add another one. Once you double click it, then you have the possibility to edit the text box. And then if you click on formula, the formula editor opens. So here we have the possibility, normally it opens without the LaTeX code over here. Normally you have the possibility to edit and create formulas using one of the options up here, and you just write whatever you need. We also have a list of famous equations that you can very easily use. Now, if you're familiar with LaTeX, or if you're using, if you've used LaTeX before, if you perhaps have any materials written in LaTeX, you can activate this option right here, and you'll just have the LaTeX code. You'll be able to see it, you'll be able to use it somewhere else, or you'll be able to convert the formula straight into LaTeX. However, if you don't want to use this, but you already have everything written somewhere else in LaTeX, I'm just going to copy this bit of code here for this particular formula. I'm just going to cancel. I won't integrate it straight to my text box, but instead I'm going to show you how you can integrate LaTeX straight to a text box and have the formula appear correctly. Because if I just click paste, then I haven't edited the source and it will just be displayed like this. If I want it to display properly, I just need to add dollar, dollar, and dollar, dollar at the end. So the dollar symbol twice at the beginning and twice at the end. And this is how I let the platform know I'm going to write something in LaTeX, write it automatically, and then my text box will have the formula. So I can either edit using the formula editor and use whatever formula I need, add another formula, start from scratch, whatever you need, then you click on save, and then it's automatically integrated. Or if I have my formulas, if I have my mathematical equations written in LaTeX, then I can just copy and paste the code, write dollar, dollar, the actual code, and then dollar, dollar again, and then the formula will be displayed as it is. And I hope that sort of covers it. I didn't really want to get into too much into each type of formula. I'm sure if you're a science teacher and you have experience with writing in maths or writing and for using formulas, you will for sure find your way around this editor. But we did want to offer the LaTeX option as well, so that you have more versatility and it's easier to integrate mathematical equations and formulas. And by the way, it works for chemistry, for physics, of course, for all sciences. And then another question that I really wanted to answer is how to shorten a video, because this is something that came up 2 weeks ago again, and I didn't really have the time to get into it. But since it's we have a more like a nuanced answer for this, because there are multiple ways to shorten a video in LIVRESQ according to how you add a video. I just want to take a little bit of time and go back to the video, to a video resource, and show you sort of how it works and how you can integrate video in LIVRESQ in general. We've already seen how to integrate text. Video works in the same way. I take a video box, I can add it as a separate cell, or I can add it on a row of its own. Here we go, we have a big video now. I'm going to hide this resource bar so it's not distracting. You can write a title for it and leave it as is, but I'm just going to click on hide, and now we just have the video inside our empty lesson. I'll double click the video to edit, and we've been, I've sort of talked about this before. We have a few options to change that video. One of them is to embed from another platform. The easiest platform you can think of is probably, at least for me, YouTube. So you can add a YouTube address and embed it. You can upload a video, use a stock video, or generate an AI video, in which you select a character, enter a text, and they will speak that text, whether the character is male or female. The method actually for shortening a video differs whether the video is embedded or not. It doesn't actually differ. You have all the options. I mean, one of them is available for all types of videos, but the edit video option that is displayed over here only works if the file is local to our project. So this doesn't work for embedding a video from another platform, but if I have a local video, just like this placeholder from LIVRESQ, this is an automatic video that is a placeholder for the video resource. If I select a stock video, it's the same because it's a video that's local. It will be part of your SCORM file, part of your LIVRESQ project. AI generated is also a local file. You can download it from here very easily. So this is not an embed. This means it's a file inside your project. Then the edit button will be displayed over here. If you click on it, so far, the only edit you can make on a video is trimming it. So you can trim it down to 1 second, a few seconds. You can trim it down from the beginning or from the end. This is perhaps the most intuitive and easiest way to shorten a video. However, this is not the only way, because for instance, if you have a longer video from YouTube, and I'm just going to go on to our YouTube page very, very quickly and select one of the videos there. And our webinars, our meetings tend to be a little bit longer, on the longer side. So I will just select one of the older videos. copy the link, and I will paste it in the address box here, click apply, and then I have 53 minutes of webinar integrated in my lesson. I no longer have the edit video button, but I do have an option, a way to make it shorter. And the very cool thing about this, and the very useful thing about this, is that if you find a longer video, maybe a documentary on a different platform, and you only need 5 minutes from the beginning and 5 minutes from the end, or 5 minutes from the middle, you can automatically not really automatically, but you can tell the platform these are the intervals I need, and I want you to put them together. And to do this, you will go to the right-hand side under Properties in this panel over here and add intervals. So I have 53 minutes of video, but for instance, maybe I first need from minute 14 to minute 16 and 30 seconds. And right now, my video is 2 minutes long. It's no longer a file, I can't download it, but what the part of the video that is embedded in my lesson is just the 2.5 minutes that I wanted, that I requested from that lesson. And I can add to this more intervals. So maybe I'll click on the add item button, and I'll also want something from maybe minute 40 to minute 43 or 41 and 0 seconds so that it's rounded. So now we have 3.5 minutes, and it's automatically put together. This is an embedded video, so I cannot download it. It will also always require an internet connection, but it works. So we have intervals, and now whatever is displayed on my in LIVRESQ in my lesson or in the course I'm creating are just 3 minutes that I've selected, the intervals that I've put together. This option also exists if the video is local. So if we go back and maybe select a stock video, a random one, we'll use a small size just so that it's quicker. Here we have 19 seconds of video. I'll delete these intervals because they no longer apply, but maybe, even though I can trim it, maybe I want something from the middle. So it was 19 seconds. Now I can have it display just from second 15 to second 17. So now I have 2 seconds of video from the very middle. And in the same way, I can combine intervals. You can use this, of course, even if the video is local, so it's a stock video, it's generated with AI, or it's a placeholder. You probably won't use the placeholder, but you can upload a video. But if you have the possibility to edit that video, it's maybe a better idea to download it, edit it, because it will load faster. It won't be as long. This did not affect the size of the video. So I uploaded the video at 2.9 megabytes. The entire file is still there. The only difference is that whatever will be displayed in my final project, in my final lesson, is just the 2 seconds that I've selected. Okay. So I hope I covered most of the questions, I think. These were the questions I really wanted to focus on. If there are any other things you want to find out about, if you have any specific questions for the future, you can either drop us an email and we will get back to you, leave us a comment on any of our social media platforms, join us on Zoom, join us on Facebook Live. These webinars happen every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central European Time. Okay. I do remember, I just noticed that we do have a really interesting question. Do you think that promoting singing and music literacy from the elementary level probably is important for education? I think this is an interesting debate. I do believe in arts, if you're asking me personally. From a technological standpoint in LIVRESQ and how to integrate this in LIVRESQ, I think we had a similar question 2 weeks ago regarding integrating music-related apps and music in general. Since you can integrate apps of any sort using iframe or not in a LIVRESQ final product, I want to say lesson, but again, it can be entire courses, it can be digital textbooks and so on. it's a really useful tool. So it's a really useful way to do that. There are no targeted music resources that we have, but you do have the possibility to add an audio. You have the possibility to add an app, a video, and sort of things that sound, things that can use music, but we don't have any music apps. However, I've noticed, and if you check out the LIVRESQ library, a lot of music teachers have created music-related lessons for different levels as well. So I'm sure that to get back to your questions, it's really important. And if there are ways we can integrate music teaching better in LIVRESQ, we are very welcome to suggestions. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me tonight, or thank you for watching a recording of this. Drop us a line with any other questions, or leave your question in your comment, and we'll get back to it as soon as possible. I will see you back here in 2 weeks' time, and have a great evening or rest of your day, according to where you are. Goodbye.